Hi everyone, I just wanted to take you through the unit that I'm in the process of building for an 8th grade general music class. This unit is about building a musical identity for oneself. It sort of explores how identity is constructed through music. Essentially, our music choices define us as a person, and our musical identities are put forth into the world, meaning other people can judge us and we can judge them on theirs. But by studying how our musical identities are made and constructed, students have more power over their own musical identity construction. By having this power, they can defend themselves against outside judgments and are more open-minded toward other people's musical identities since they know what goes into making one. I've boiled down musical identity construction into 5 areas that the students will consider. The first one is considering how and why our brain likes the music it does. This is from a biological standpoint, from our synapses and our axons and all those brainiac things. There's like a biological reason why we like it. Our brain likes music for biological reasons. There's also lyrical content, what the actual songs are about. Our childhood and our parental influences have a big impact on the music that we listen to, as well as our cultural impacts and then our social impacts of the music. Like, for example, listen to music in groups and peer influence on our musical choices. So I just wanted to take you through some of those resources. I'm going to go sort of in order of how I've constructed the class. So not necessarily based just on, 5 text-based resources or web-based resources. I'm going to go more in the order of what the students would be studying. So first up is sort of how and why our brains biologically like the music that we do. So one of this was taken from this is your brain on music. Basically, this graph shows that the higher the musical complexity is, meaning how complex it is, do you understand it, what's going on in this music, all that, is relevant to your brain's interest in it. So your brain will not be interested in music if it's too easy to understand. For example, could you imagine listening to Mary Had a Little Lamb on repeat 50 times? Mary had a little lamb, Mary had a little lamb, Mary had a little lamb. Your brain would shut off after like 4 of it. It'd be like, please stop this nonsense, it's terrible. Likewise, over on this side of the graph, if the music is too complex and you don't understand what's going on in it, your brain's just going to shut it off as well. All the music that we like or we listen to is somewhere in this area and here, where we can sort of understand what's going on into it, and it has an interest. We have an interest in it because our brains can sort of pick up on what's going on in the music. Another thing to consider is the actual timbres. There's this test that a lot of elementary school students take to sort of tell them what their brains like to listen to. So this is based on brass and woodwind instruments. So with this, students who, their brains say, oh, I like brassy sounds more, then the band director would sort of instruct them to maybe take a brass instrument because they'd be more likely to practice it because their brains like it. For this, obviously, my students would not be picking an instrument to practice, but more so what would they like to listen to. It would give them a more clear picture of what they actually like. Next, I'd be talking about lyrical content. A really fantastic site for that is songmeanings.net. Here you can sort of just search for different songs that you know and love and try to figure out what their meanings are. This is just one of my favorite songs. It's a song by Bon Iver. So it has the lyrics up here, and then down below, people sort of give what they think their interpretations are on the song meanings. So by knowing what this song is actually about and by more deeply analyzing the lyrics, you can sort of gain a better understanding of the song and why you like listening to it. Another thing to listen to or to be interested in are your cultural impacts, or the sounds of where you actually grew up in. Cultural implications on music could be a whole other unit, and I'm sure that sometime in this class we would have studied cultural implications on music, or I don't know if it would come after or before this unit, but obviously it's a huge thing. For an example, here's a YouTube video of a Ghana post office. In Ghana, music is just everywhere. You walk down the street, you hear music. You walk into a store, you hear music. It's inseparable from the culture. So, for example, this is just what it sounds like to be in a Ghana post office.
Even in modern African society, you can still find music and singing in a lot of working routines, hence making the work easier.
So how much music you listen to growing up is going to have a huge impact on you as a listener. Another thing that sort of stems from cultural implications is that sometimes your identity or your culture might be misunderstood by other listeners. So one lesson we'd have to deal with that, and a great one for this is Brad Paisley recently teamed up with LL Cool J, which is an odd combination, but they made a song called Accidental Racist. And basically, Brad Paisley talks about he paints a picture in the song of walking into a Starbucks and he was wearing a T-shirt with a Confederate flag on it, and the whole song is sort of almost an apology to the guy that was serving him, behind the counter, because the guy was like, oh, this guy's just obviously a racist if he's wearing that T-shirt. But Brad Paisley just sort of sings about, well, not necessarily. It's just the culture I was brought up in. I know that it has these meanings, but I'm not like that. You should get to know me as a person. And also LL Cool J has a rap in it that's sort of like, I also get judged. We're both getting judged. Maybe we should stop judging each other. So that would definitely be something to sort of think about when you're constructing your identity is, other people are going to see this. What are going to be the impacts of me choosing to listen to this music? Another thing to consider is your childhood and your parental influences when you were growing up. Children sort of don't really have their own identities yet. So, 8th grade is really the starting point of when they're starting to construct their own identities, not even just musical identities, but their identities in general. So this website just kind of talks about this one woman's reminiscence of different songs that she learned from her general music teacher in elementary school. And so this would maybe give a clue to my students, is there anything that you remember from your childhood? Do you still listen to it today? What kind of impact did it have on you, etc.? The last thing that I would want them to consider is the social implications of listening to music, and also, do you listen to just what your peers do? Do you actually like what your peers listen to? So one resource for them to consider is the Billboard Hot 100. And if I could just get this pinwheel of doom off the screen here, that would be fantastic. Maybe not. There we go. What they would do with this is basically, go through what do you like, what do you not like, this is what your peers are listening to, this is what's hot right now, do you agree with it, do you not? So it's a great resource for that. Another one is to think of, attending concerts and listening to music sort of as a group. So for example, these two YouTube videos are about the Berlin Wall falling. So the first one is Pink Floyd gave a humongous concert, actually like on the wall. The stage was in crossed the line between East and West Germany, and it gave a humongous concert. And just to be a person going to that concert, first of all, just being at a concert with other people, but second, for a cause, for a rally around one cause, and that's the fall of the Berlin Wall. Likewise, another musical topic that came off of that was Leonard Bernstein conducted Beethoven's Ninth, which is my all-time favorite piece of music. But this concert was also, again, after the Berlin Wall fell. The Ode to Joy is basically about, the lyrics talk about being, universal brotherhood, and we're all human beings and we should all be in this together. But Bernstein changed the lyrics from Ode to Joy to Ode to Freedom afterwards, and he had 3 different choirs come in to sing, and he had a whole bunch of different musicians come in from around the world to be part of the orchestra, and it was just a huge thing. So it's a big experience, just to be there to listen to it. Can you imagine being the audience after the Berlin Wall falls and you're listening to lyrics about universal brotherhood and freedom and all that. That must have been such a powerful experience. So that's something that the students should consider as well for what they like to listen to. So yeah, so that's just about it. I hope you like this, and yeah, bye.